wholesome Monday. Ladies and gents, wholesome Monday. A lot of crazy, and also a lot of good in the world. What the freak? Where our attention goes is where our energy flows. And right now, the system is really doing its utmost to galvanize all the attention of the masses onto things that only, produce hopelessness and despair. That's all war and catastrophe does to people. It produces fear, hopelessness, and despair. We can't focus on fear, hopelessness, and despair. No, love, hope, and faith. Hope, faith, and love. Those are the things that we need to focus on. Things that bring us a sense of patience, peace of mind, and serenity, that fill us with courage and confidence and grant us the understanding and knowledge to act accordingly and with wisdom. October 16th, Proverbs 16. Proverbs of King Solomon, the soul of man. The preparations of the heart belong to man, but the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. All the ways of a man are pure in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the spirit. Commit your work to the Lord, and your thoughts will be established. The Lord has made all for himself, yes, even the wicked for the day of doom. Everyone arrogant in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though they join forces, none will go unpunished. In mercy and truth, atonement is provided for iniquity, and by the love of the Most High God, one departs from evil. When a man's way pleases the Lord, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. Better is a little with righteousness than vast revenues without justice. A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. Divination is on the lips of the king. His mouth must not transgress in judgment. Honest weights and scales are the Lord's. All weighs in the bag are his work. It is an abomination for kings to commit wickedness, for a throne is established by righteousness. Righteous lips are the delight of kings, and they love him who speak what is right. A messenger of death is the king's wrath, but a wise man will appease it. In the light of the king's face is life, and his favor is like a cloud of the latter rain. How much better to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding is to be chosen rather than silver. How much better to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding is to be chosen rather than silver. Wisdom and understanding can make you rich, but riches unwisely managed without understanding will dwindle quickly. The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He who keeps his way preserves his soul. Arrogance goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Better to be humble with the lowly than to divide the spoils with the arrogant. He who heeds the words wisely will find good, and whoever trusts in the Most High, happy is he. The wise in heart will be called prudent, and sweetness of the lips increases learning. Understanding is a wellspring of life to him who has it, but the correction of fools is folly. The heart of the wise teaches his mouth, and adds learning to his lips. Pleasant words are like a honeycomb, sweetness to the soul and health to the bones. Pleasant words are like a honeycomb, sweetness to the soul and health to the bones. Life and death is in the power of the tongue, and those that know its power shall eat its fruit. One of the four agreements states that one must be impeccable with our words. We are told to, speak with confidence and to speak things into existence. Pleasant words are like honeycombs. They are wonderful to the soul, and they are healthy to our body. That's why we should affirm, let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich. Let the stupid give thanks for the understanding of being able to realize their lack. In school, we are taught to spell, yet we're not under the understanding that we are being, or that a spell is being casted upon us. Through the mediums of communication, through the music that we listen to, through the miseducation that we are given in these corporate financed concentration camps that we call schools. We are taught how to spell, yet we are educated, or we are indoctrinated just enough to be able to push buttons and press papers, but not enough to know how to ask questions and think for ourselves and be self-reliant and self-directed. And so our language is poor, our mindset is poor, and our spirit, our soul is poor as well. We live in a consumerist culture which only engenders frivolity and wastefulness and ingratitude, because everything is so easy. Most people don't even appreciate it. And so that ungrateful attitude creates an ungrateful personality, an impoverished personality, because an ungrateful person can never be rich because they are never satisfied. And so then it is incumbent upon us to self-educate, to develop our personality, to develop moral and ethical qualities to endow our character with, and to, cultivate ourselves as a wholesome individual so that we can create wholesome relationships within ourselves, with our health and wellness, with our families, friends, with our finances, and with a greater vision of the future. And speak those things also with confidence, with full faith and confidence that they are for us, because we have it in our vision. And if we didn't have it in our vision, they wouldn't be for us. So us having it there means that it is for us. And so then we should walk with grace and appreciation of having those things there, and always speak them. Pleasant words are like a honeycomb. They are sweet to your soul and health to your bones. Our soul is nourished by the thoughts we think and the information that we consume that feed our mind, the emotions that we allow ourselves to feel and that we can induce ourselves into feeling, and how we conduct ourselves with our willpower, with our free will, and what we can make ourselves do at every moment of time and in every point of space. And it may be difficult at time, it may be more pleasing to do other things that are easier, but hey, that's just part of the path that we all got to take. There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. The person who labors for himself, for his hungry mouth drives him on. An ungodly man digs up evil, and it is on his lips like a burning fire. A perverse man sows strife, and a whisperer separates the best of friends. A violent man entices his neighbor and leads him in a way that is not good. He winks his eyes to devise perverse things. He purses his lips and brings about evil. The silver-haired head is a crown of glory, if it is found in the way of righteousness. He who is slow to anger is better than a mighty, and he who rules the spirit than he who takes a city. The lot is cast into the lap, but its every decision is from the Lord. The way of a man is pure in his own eyes. Our ways are often pure. We might, especially if we're selfish and inconsiderate of how what we do may affect our sphere of influence. Hey, we might think that what we're doing is all good. It's a lot of a lot of young gentlemen, a lot of older gentlemen out in these streets, selling substances that are detrimental to their own community, to their own family at that. Yet, to them is all good because they're making money. So if they don't do it, somebody else is gonna do it. So why not them? You get what I'm saying? So a man's way, they might be pure in our own eyes, but the Lord weighs our spirit. At the end of our days, like the Egyptians represented in some of their hieroglyphs, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have that scale, and on one side is gonna be the heart, and on the other one is gonna be a feather. And if that heart is not as light as that feather, then we're going to damn ourselves back into repeating this whole cycle all over again until we get it right, and we are able to transcend into whatever other stages of experiences which consciousness can have as the soul. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, right? Commit your works to the Lord, and your thoughts will be established. That's where do the will. Let thy will be done than my own will. Let thine will be done, Almighty God, and not my own will. Often we live in a society today, that's the culture that we live in today, is do thine own will. Do thine own will at the expense of thine own soul, of thine own mental health, physical health, emotional health, everything. Do whatever you feel like doing. Do whatever you feel like doing. You get what I'm saying? That's the culture that we live in today. That's what is being promoted. Do what you feel like doing. Not what is right, not what is correct, not what is good, not what is just, not what is righteous, not what is most conducive to a positive and harmonious future for self and for others, but whatever it is that you feel like doing. That's what we're living under, all right? So let the works of the Most High be what your hands do, and everything you do after that will be established, and your thoughts will not be anxiously filled because you are simply satisfying your own selfish gratification. And we are all guilty of that in one way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? Like us, we're gonna be continuing to do this work of personal development, of trying to do our best, if we're on that path to do our best, to the day that we freaking transition. You know what I'm saying? From this physical human experience into whatever other experience this soul that we cultivate in this life has to go on to live. How much better to get wisdom than gold? I like that one, man. Just reading it again is beautiful. A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. All right? Our heart, if it is pure, if we make it pure, we can only hope that it directs our way, that puts us on a way that is productive and prosperous and proactive for all whom we are fortunate to influence in our life, especially our loved ones, right? Understanding is a wellspring of life to him who has it. Understanding is a wellspring of life to him who has it. The more understanding we cultivate within ourselves, the less we hold on to unnecessary emotions, to unnecessary thoughts, to unnecessary desires, to unnecessary wastefulness, and the more productive we become with our mental space and material resources, with our energy, with our attention, and with our time. The greater understanding we have, the greater our awareness and clarity of where our time, our attention, our energy, our material resources, and mental space is best to be invested in. You get what I'm saying? It's always best to invest life into life. The dividends and profits of such an investment are always come in greater abundance. I believe, and I also know because I personally feel the richness in my soul by continuing to daily do my best to invest my life back into life, So the more often that we continue to do that, to invest our life back into life, the rewards will always fulfill the soul. Even if they dry up the pockets temporarily, they will always overfill the soul. And they overfill all the other souls that we are fortunate to touch and impact in a positive manner through our own selfless acts. The heart of the wise teaches his mouth, and adds learning to his lips. The heart of the wise teaches his mouth and adds learning to his lips. All right? Keep that in mind. He who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules the spirit than he who takes a city. He who rules his own spirit is greater than he that takes a city. That is the greatest of all feat. Sun Tzu in his Art of War said, if you know thyself and you know thine enemy, you will win. The outcome of 1,000 battles is certain. You will win them. If you know yourself and not the enemy, then you will win half of the battles. If you know the enemy but not thyself, you will lose half of the battles. But if you know neither yourself nor the enemy, you will lose every battle. So know thyself and learn and develop the capacity to rule yourself. The lot is cast into the lap, but its every decision is from the Lord. I'm casting this lot into the lap of the Most High God, and we'll end this live. Thank you. Mission accomplished. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Gotta learn how to take my own advice. We're working on it. We're working on it. We're working on it. So keep that in mind, family. Consistency is key. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes improvement. So may you continue to practice and improve. This message is as much for me as it is for you. May have a great one. It's been your guy Sosa, aka Super Conscious Living, Super Conscious Thoughts. This will be uploaded to the tube. Have a great one.